Now to an exclusive surrounding how millions of taxpayer dollars were diverted into the Hope Florida Foundation. Money that was supposed to help poor, sick children instead found its way into a political campaign.
CBS News Miami has obtained a copy of the sealed grand jury report that found the DeSantis administration misappropriated $10 million of taxpayer money into a political action committee controlled by his then chief of staff. This was done as part of a campaign to defeat the 2024 marijuana amendment. CBS News Miami's Jim DeFeeti has the report, and he joins us now from the newsroom. Jim?
This grand jury report was filed under seal with the Leon County Clerk's office on January 28th. The report's existence has been the subject of intense interest in recent months, with Democratic officials calling for its release and Republicans continuing to downplay the affair, as we heard this morning from Governor Ron DeSantis.
I wasn't involved in the settlement agreement or that, but I'm very happy with how everything was done. I know they tried to make political hay about it. The reality is, that was a hoax.
Nobody did anything wrong here. I think you had I think what I said in the past is a nothing burger complaint that's been politically motivated. At the end of the day, there's nothing there. I think that's been made pretty clear.
For more than a year, both Governor Ron DeSantis and Attorney General James Uthmeier have dismissed questions regarding the diversion of $10 million of taxpayer money from a Medicaid settlement into the Hope Florida Foundation. Yet while DeSantis and Uthmeier claim everything with the transfer was perfectly fine, a state grand jury says that it found significant wrongdoing. In a stunning 19-page summary of the grand jury's investigation, jurors concluded taxpayer money was misappropriated and was part of a sophisticated scheme to fund political activities. Despite our finding that the money was misappropriated, we find insufficient evidence to charge anyone criminally, the report concluded. Nobody will take responsibility for deciding the $10 million of taxpayer money would go to Hope Florida, or had any memory of who made it. We recognize that this would be an impediment to criminal prosecution. While we can't prove who is responsible, we can plainly see that taxpayer money was misused for political purposes, and we would like to see changes made to prevent this from happening again. The grand jury claimed that within days of Hope Florida receiving the $10 million, Uthmeier helped orchestrate the movement of that money through a pair of nonprofits before ultimately landing in a political action committee he controlled. From there, he sent $7 million to the Republican Party of Florida, money that could then be used to fight the marijuana initiative on the ballot in 2024, as well as assist Republican candidates throughout the state. Describing Uthmeier's central role, the grand jury wrote, "We find that James Uthmeier, as the governor's chief of staff at the time of settlement, was in a position of authority over those involved in settling with Centene. Testimony identified him as having involvement in directing the money after it went to Hope Florida." The grand jury report could have been made public in February under Florida law, but a source familiar with the proceedings told CBS Miami that several individuals named in the report, including Uthmeier, had been delaying its release through closed court proceedings. It's also worth noting Uthmeier made this statement in April about prosecutors in Leon County.
I will say Leon County is kind of like Washington, D.C. If there's any hint, any remote sense of criminal activity, like they'll indict a ham sandwich. So that hasn't happened. I think that tells you all you need to know.
But at the time the Attorney General made those comments, Uthmeier would have realized that under Florida law he would have been given a copy of the report and should have known that grand jurors had indeed found taxpayer money was misappropriated. Yet he continued to claim that he found nothing wrong. Now, coming up at 6, the grand jury also took a close look at Ashley Moody's time as Attorney General and how she and her office failed to protect taxpayers in letting the deal come through.
Jim, we know you've been following the story from the very beginning. Thanks so much for staying on top of it for us with these latest developments.
Yep.
Jim, thank you.